A little while ago I asked on the community tabs on my YouTube page if people were region free or not. Now, I think the last time I checked that, it was remarkably close. 56% of people who took the poll were region free, 44% weren't. And it was remarkably closer than I thought it would be. I had this opinion in my head that a lot of boutique collectors were indeed region free, opening themselves up to the wealth of various other releases that different regions have. And it just kind of sparked a little bit of curiosity in me, and I started asking certain people just randomly why they were region free or why they weren't. And it came down to a couple of different mindsets. People who were region free wanted to open themselves up to the best transfer of a movie possible, to get titles that they couldn't get here, to really reach and expand their collection and get the movies that they wanted that wasn't available in the UK. Other people said that they didn't want to go region free for the cost, because it is a more expensive way of getting movies, and they were buying enough titles from the UK to keep them going, and they were just living in hope that maybe the titles that they wanted would ultimately come to region free at some point. Now, way back in the DVD era of things, I was region free. I bought a lot of things from, I think it was a website called Blackstar. That seems to ring a bell, that I bought, and lots of DVDs. And when I moved into Blu-ray, I didn't get a multi-region player straight away. I kind of adopted Blu-ray fairly early on, and the cost of a region-free player back then was quite expensive, and I wasn't looking for lots of titles. It was still quite a priceless thing. Eventually down the line, I went region-free, and it's one of those things that I don't often utilise. It's not something that I immediately go searching for. I'm happy with a lot of the titles that come out in the UK. There is the odd occasion where I want to get something from a different region where I just cannot get it here. Most recently, I think, was High and Low. It's a title that's been out in America for a while. It's not out here. I was really wanting to see that. I got that title. Some of the Vinegar Syndrome titles I get are region locked to region A. Very few and far between, but I got the player for that. If there is something I want, I can go and get it. But as we're moving into the era of 4K, all 4Ks just seem to be, they're not locked at all. So you can just get one from any region and know it's going to work. You're going to have to do your own homework though, and find out what the best transfer is, so that you know you're getting the best disc. But is it worthwhile going region free? I guess that's something that you really need to weigh up yourself. To get the player, it can be remarkably cheap. I get mine from eBay usually. It's like a recycled machine. It works perfectly fine. It's usually about £100. I've had 2 Blu-ray players in my life. One which I broke myself pretty much. The other one has been perfect ever since I've got that, and I've had no issues with it at all. Now, I can change this from region A to B if I want. I don't bother. I just have a region A player, a region B player, and I'm happy with that. The movies themselves is where I find the expense. I look at deals and I am jealous of other countries. I quite often look at The Quick and the Dead from America. Every now and again it appears on Amazon, the 4K, for $9.99. I mean, that's ridiculous. But then you have to put the shipping and the tax on top of it, and then suddenly it's $25, $30, and the kind of value is gone. So when I'm looking at importing stuff, I'm looking at getting discs that I cannot get here. If I can get a movie here and the transfer is just a little bit less than the one from America, I'm probably going to get the one that's here, because it just makes the most sense and it's easier for me. The region free stuff does tend to hold its value most of the time. If you're getting like boutique releases, then you're going to get something that is going to hold its value most of the time. Like the Criterion editions are most of the things that I've got region free or Vinegar Syndrome, and I can get my money back on them. and that's fairly simple. But what I wonder is there a necessity to go region free? It's something I often see discussed on forums and that, where people are kind of bullish about their opinion. I would never not go region free. It's the only way to be a true film fan. And the condescending kind of arguments that you get like that. And I think it's purely down to personal preference and finances. You know, the import game way back in the DVD days was much cheaper and much easier to do, and that was great. Nowadays, it does cost a little bit more. You've got to look at titles and wonder, is it value for money? I don't import a lot. The Vinegar Syndrome stuff I've got a subscription for, and I can add other titles to my package, so it doesn't really hit me with tax, and the postage and packaging is already sorted for the year. That seems like a better option. If I'm going to Amazon or Wow HD to order these titles, you are paying a premium to get these titles. That's just the way of the world. So when I asked people about being multi-region, I just instantly assumed it was a thing that most film fans do. But I was quite interested to find out that there was a lot of people who are just like, I'm happy. I'm settled with what I've got. I'd rather get more for my money than less. I'm happy to wait for certain titles to come out in this country, if they ever will, at a certain point. And I'm just wondering, what is it about region free that really attracts a lot of people? You know, I want to know why you're region free or why you're not. I'm hoping to figure out in the comments what started it for you. Is it the cost of the player that puts you off getting it? Is it the import tax and the cost of the discs that puts you off getting it? Like me, I would say a fraction of my collection is region A, so bulk of my collection being B. Is that a good sound financial option that I've gone for? Just something that kind of mulls around in my head. I can see both the good points and the bad points to being region free. I would love to know your opinion on it, especially if you have a strong stance on one or the other. I think it'd be nice to get a discussion about why you think that it's such a good thing or such a bad thing. What has tempted you to go there but never quite made you cross the line? What's your favourite imported release that you have? And just, let me know in the comments. We'll have a little discussion about going region free, and it'll be interesting enough, I think. So one of the other things I just wanted to quickly mention is a lot of editions now are becoming region free. Luckily, some people are locked into certain discs being locked, but a lot of them are becoming region free, and it's something that's been advertised a lot on various websites. Now, take the player, the cost of that out of it. If you knew you could buy a movie from America, from Criterion, that was just unlocked, good for all reasons, would you import that? Would that sway your mind? Would that the kind of thing you do as well? Do all the people that import releases, do you have a region free player? Do you have any tips and tricks, places that you shop where it's the best value for money and how to get region free stuff? I'd love to know all this in the comment box, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.